Well, listen, let's get to the phone lines now. Chris is an Arsenal fan. He's called in. Chris, what did you make of Arsenal's performance today?
It was a good performance, guys. It was nice, bit jittery towards the end, but I mainly wanted to ask you guys a little bit about Bielsa, because I listen to the station quite a lot, and a lot of you guys people that ring in say how fantastic this manager is, and I don't quite understand it, because he's never won a trophy and he's never actually been considered for a high-end job, considering, say, like the Chelsea job come up a little while ago and he wasn't even mentioned. What is it that's so great about this man? Because I don't see it.
Do you know what? I do like him as a manager, and you're right. People have kind of gone like he's an absolute legend of the game. And I think when you hear some of the top managers around the world, they've all spoke how highly about Bielsa. But the one thing I do like about him is that Leeds are the newly promoted team, and they've not kind of come up like we usually see traditionally promoted teams come up. They play against the top teams. They go 4-5-1. They don't really ever go, and ultimately they end up getting beat. You know what you're going to get from Leeds every single game. And I think we saw the blueprint the very first game of the season when they played Liverpool. That doesn't matter if you're playing against the Premier League champions or a team that's bottom three. They will go toe to toe, and if they get beat, they get beat. But I think Bielsa looks at the way they play as preferring to maybe win one, lose one, than win one or lose and then draw, and it'd be a bit of a nothing performance. He likes to play a certain way, and he feels that the players that he's got in his squad stand in the best chance of getting the results that he wants.
Chris, was you a little bit nervous when Leeds scored their second goal today?
Of course, we're Arsenal.
I mean, for me, you've answered your own question there. That's what Bielsa does. Bielsa makes you a bit concerned. I know you're going to say that Arsenal fall apart, but you know, Bielsa, they just come at you, and I think he's a bit it's like Marmite manager really. I think a lot of people love him, and then there's people that don't. So I understand where you're coming from, but I think, as Daz said, he just goes toe to toe with you, and he just plays exciting football for me. And you're either going to get turned over or not.
But isn't it also about winning things? Because at the end of the day, I mean, he's been the manager a very long time, and he hasn't got one single trophy on his mantelpiece. And at the end of the day, when you walk away from the game, all you've got, obviously, is your memories and that, but you sit there. I mean, whose mantelpiece would you prefer, Bielsa's or Alex Ferguson's?
Yeah, but come on, Ferguson,
you can say that to every manager.
The greatest of all time.
I know, but I mean, Arteta's been the manager, 2 years now? And he's won more trophies than Bielsa, but I just don't get how. I understand the brand of football, it's exciting, but at some stage there's got to be an end product for this. He's got to win something to be classed as a great manager.
So Chris, so in your opinion, then, do you think Bielsa's a bit of a myth?
Yeah, I do. Until he wins something, of course he is.
Okay, well, cheers, Chris. Great call. I mean, Leeds fans, is Bielsa a myth, or do you think Chris has been a bit out there? 08717 22 33 44. I think it's a little bit harsh. He's not a myth, and I listen. I love watching him play, because I always know there's going to be goals and there's going to be entertainment. And listen, it's difficult because people talk about Pochettino, and obviously he's now won something in France, but before he got there, he hadn't won anything. Is he a myth?
I mean, like you said, you can understand his point that he hasn't won anything, but I think there's a lot of loving with Leeds this season, and a lot of loving with Bielsa, and I think that's the reason why. If you love watching them play, you're going to enjoy it, and you're going to say, "Oh, what a manager he is! He's just going toe to toe with everyone." I mean, Crookie, what do you think? Do you think he's a bit of a myth, or do you think, like we're saying, it's go toe to toe and enjoy?
I think we go overboard a bit on our praise for Leeds when they're in games, like when they conceded 6 against Manchester United, and
they could have scored 6.
They were just praised for their attacking football. They conceded 6 goals, and today at 4-0, I said to you guys, "Are we going to go on air again and praise Leeds' attacking play and how much fun they are to watch when they keep conceding goals?" But actually, to be fair, they showed a bit of character in the second half. Got it back to 4-2. Still 20 minutes to go, and made it a bit nervous, not least for you, Darren Bent. And also, we have to realise where they've come from. They haven't been in the Premier League for 16 years. It's largely the same squad that came up from the Championship, bar 1 or 2 additions that Bielsa made in the summer. The first priority for any newly promoted club is to stay in the Premier League. They're going to do that with ease. And they're enjoying themselves. But I think next season, they are going to need to shore it up defensively, because it's that second season syndrome. I don't think they'll find it quite so easy.
Yeah, I agree. Well, listen, Scott, he's a Leeds fan. He's called in. Scott, you heard the previous caller about maybe Bielsa's a bit of a myth. What's your thoughts on Bielsa?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, all good, yeah. Thanks for calling in.
No worries, a good show. No, basically, that Arsenal fan calling saying Bielsa's a myth. He's won nothing. He won the championship last year. He's now competing toe-to-toe with big boys in the Premier League with the same players from the championship. You know, what would Arteta be able to get Arsenal to do that with championship players? Imagine Bielsa had Arsenal squad or United squad or City squad. He would definitely win things then. So people need to put it in perspective. Yes, maybe he hasn't won that much, but look what he does with average players. Well, maybe not average, but below Premier League standard players. He brings them to that level. No one seems to talk about that.
Scott, what is it? What is it with Bielsa? Is it the way he plays his football that gets everyone on side? Obviously, you're a Leeds fan. I mean, you look at West Brom, Fulham, who come down as well. They're sitting rock bottom of the league, yeah. And it looks like they're going to go down. And Leeds are flying high and playing really attractive football. You're going to get turned over, but is it his style of play that you lot buy into?
Yeah, I love his style. Sometimes, especially not last season, the season before, where we were so close to getting promoted and we didn't. Sometimes sitting back is a good thing, but no, I think the way he manages players, he's the players who, again, I keep going back to the point. You always talk about Pep, is he doing the right thing for Foden? Look at Bielsa and what he's done with really players that no other Premier League teams would look at. He's got Luke Ayling. He's got Bamford. Suddenly people are talking about England. I don't know another manager in the country that would have done that with Patrick Bamford. I know a lot of people have showed no faith in him, but he's stuck with him. But his style of play is so... Yes, there are times I think, maybe you should just sort of sit back and hold on to 1-0, but look, he's now, 62, 63, whatever, he's not going to change. And if people like Pep Guardiola come out and say he's a fantastic manager and trophies don't mean anything, well, we're all a bit foolish to say that any different. What do we know?
Yeah.
But I just think people need to put things in perspective. They're always talking about Leeds this and Leeds that. We're just promoted. We haven't really added to the squad that much, and anything we have added have been injured. No one talks about our injury list is the second highest in the Premier League. No one talks about that. They're just Leeds are entertaining. We are outdoing ourselves, and I would safely say we're going to surely be classed as one of the best promoted teams, even if we come 17th. That doesn't matter. The way we play, no fear, and that's what football fans want to see.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, listen, great call, Scott, there. And he's got a point there, and I'll agree with him to one point that he said there, is that as far as newly promoted teams, entertainment value, they would be right up there. In recent memory, we know Sheffield United did very, very well last season, but from a sheer entertainment value, Crookie, Leeds would be right up there.
Yeah, I agree with what Graham Souness said earlier. They are probably the one team in the Premier League that you would pay money to watch, or one of the teams anyway. So, yeah, you have to give that to them, and it's a very brave way that they play the game. I mean, you look at West Brom, for example. I know they got a good point today, but it's attritional. It's about staying in games. Leeds aren't afraid to go toe-to-toe, and I think we should applaud that, because football is supposed to be about fun, and Leeds are fun to watch.